Hey YouTube, today we're adding some more barriers and floats to our street procession. Hey everyone and welcome to Brick Talk TV. We're continuing our street story today in Bricktown and we're adding some more barriers and floats to our street procession. If you missed any previous updates to Bricktown, then do check the playlist in the top right and do hit that like button if you enjoy this video. And you can also subscribe or join as a member to continue to follow our updates. This was how we left Bricktown in our last episode, and we just paved one sidewalk and erected one barrier. If you missed the fencing technique, then do check out our last episode and I'll put a link in the top right and in the description below. Our first task today is to head over to Bricktown and replicate the barriers and then pave the sidewalks. We'll start with the curbs and the alignment of the plates in order to attach the barriers to the sidewalks and then pave the sidewalks themselves. So let's do this at quick speed. On the paving, we'll put a single row of 1x2 dark bluish grey tiles near the curb, and then we'll start to place the rest of the 2x2 tiles and 2x2 jumpers in order to attach minifigures later on. Now I've noticed an issue with the alignment of our barriers, so I'm going to have to redo the curbs and the barrier alignment again so that we can fit the stage in properly at the end of the street. Now the paving and the barriers are all done, you can see how Baker Street is looking at the end. What we'll do now is we'll start to place our New Year's parade floats on the street and place some of the minifigures that are included in that set on the sidewalks to start to create our crowd. But first up, let's take a closer look at the floats themselves. Our first float here is the leading float, and you can see it features a large scale rabbit to celebrate the Lunar New Year of the rabbit. It also has 3 minifigures featured, 2 heading the float, both holding some flags, and it also features a minifigure dressed as a rabbit sat on top at the rear of the float. You can see here, once we move the float and move it forward, how it actually moves, and you can see the rabbit will go up and down as the float moves forward. Our next float features a band and also has a large drum at the rear. There are several minifigures included on this, all wearing the same outfit but all playing various different instruments. There are 4 minifigures on the float itself playing the instruments, including the large drum itself at the rear of the float, and 1 minifigure is included leading the float and playing some cymbals. As this float moves along, you can see how the main large drum player moves back and forth to make it look like they're hitting the drum as the float moves along. Our final float is the Lego inspired float, featuring various Lego bricks and a dragon. This float also has boxes of fireworks on it and has 4 minifigures included. These minifigures are inspired by various Lego themes, and you can see a pirate, space and a knight inspired minifigure. The figure at the front leading the float is carrying a string of firecrackers too, to signal that there are fireworks also on the float. The mechanism for this float sees the main dragon in the middle of the float spin around on the spot, and as the float moves forward, the dragon continues to spin around. That concludes looking at the floats themselves from this set, and if you're interested in actually seeing how this set was built, then do check out a live stream I did of the build, and I'll put a link in the top right here and also in the description below. So with the floats all looked at, let's head back to Bricktown and start to place our floats on the road, and we'll start adding those crowd members as well that are included in this set. And this is how the procession is looking at the end of today's update. It's starting to take shape now, but it does need a bit more of a crowd presence. So in our next episode we'll be adding some more minifigures that I've put on order from Pick-a-Brick, and we'll be placing them on the sidewalks, and we'll also be adding some police cars at various points on the road in order to create a closed road barricade that will be showing that no one can go down these roads while the procession is actually taking place. Join me next time for those updates and for many more coming up. If you enjoyed this update, do remember to hit that like button so others get to see the video. And remember, you can also join the channel as a member if you want access to some great perks. Or if you just want to be notified about the next update, then just hit that subscribe button with the bell notification turned on. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you then.